I asked Noam Chomsky about political science professor Norman Finkelstein, one of the country's foremost critics of Israel policy, and his battle to receive tenure at Depaul University, where he has taught for 6 years. Professor Finkelstein's tenure has been approved at the departmental and college level, but the dean of the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences at DePaul has opposed it. A final decision is expected to be made in May. Finkelstein has accused Harvard law professor Alan Dershowitz of being responsible for leading the effort to deny him tenure. In an interview with the Harvard Crimson, Dershowitz admitted he'd sent a letter to DePaul faculty members lobbying against Finkelstein's tenure. I asked Noam Chomsky about the dispute.
The whole thing is outrageous. I mean, he's an outstanding scholar. He's produced book after book. He's got recommendations from some of the leading scholars in the many areas in which he's worked. The faculty, the departmental committee unanimously recommended him for tenure. It's amazing that he hasn't had full professorship a long time ago. And as you were saying, there was a huge campaign led by a Harvard law professor, Alan Dershowitz, to try, in a desperate effort, to defame him and vilify him so as to prevent him from getting tenure. The details of it are utterly shocking, and as you said, it got to the point where the DePaul administration called on Harvard to put an end to this.
That's very significant for one university to call on the leadership of another university to stop one of its professors.
Yeah. What's behind it? It's very simple and straightforward. Norman Finkelstein wrote a book, which is in fact the best compendium that now exists of human rights violations in Israel and the blocking of diplomacy by Israel and the United States, which I mentioned. Very careful, scholarly book, as all of his work is, impeccable. Also about the uses of anti-Semitism to try to silence critical discussion. And the framework of his book was a critique of a book of apologetics for atrocities and violence by Alan Dershowitz. That was the framework. So we went through Dershowitz's chart claims, showed in great detail that they are completely false and outrageous, that he's lying about the facts, that he's an apologist for violence, that he's a passionate opponent of civil liberties, which he is, and he documented it in detail. Dershowitz is intelligent enough to know that he can't respond. So he does what any 10th-rate lawyer does. When you have a rotten case, you try to change the subject, maybe by vilifying opposing counsel. All right, that changes the subject. Now we talk about whether opposing counsel did or did not commit this iniquity. And the tactic is a very good one because you win even if you lose. Suppose your charges against are all refuted. You've still won. You've changed the subject. The subject is no longer the real topic. The crucial facts about Israel, Dershowitz's vulgar apologetics for them, which sort of are reminiscent of the worst days of Stalinism. We've forgotten all of that. We're now talking about whether Finkelstein did this, that, and the other thing. And even if the charges are false, the topic's been changed. That's the basis of it.